Welcome to a busted play. An illegal use of hands to the face short. Not as fast as the
Not as
Nickel
fast
Roby
as the
Coleman
what?
video. As the Nickel Roby Coleman video.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, probably not. Well, anyways, with that out of the way, we are back here on the illegal use of hands to the face YouTube channel to discuss just about the worst cut down day moves and decisions from each division in the NFL. Um, I'll be going over the picks for the AFC. Jake's got the NFC. And Jake, would you start us off in the NFC East?
In the NFC East, well, in the NFC East, I couldn't really find a cut that was too atrocious, but the Washington football team cut Antonio Gandy Golden, and you just don't cut a name like that.
I was wondering if you would actually. I was really wondering if you would mention to that to me at any point before now, because I was looking at that, and when I saw that cut, I was like, oh boy, Jake is not going to be happy that this man is now unemployed and on the streets. He may be begging for bread for all
Oh,
we know.
I remember when we talked about the Washington football team, my mind just completely blanked on like Terry McLaurin and the other
And the
guys.
other
See,
guys, yeah, I don't
yeah,
know any of them.
uh, but but the one guy I remembered was Antonio Gandy Golden. And, like I looked like such a fool in that video because I was like, yeah, the football team, they got great weapons like Antonio Gandy Golden.
Man, I don't remember you saying that, but
and
honestly,
and now I really look like a fool now that he's cut.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's disappointing, but what are you really gonna do? My pick for the
Cry.
AFC East, in terms of just cry, yes. My pick for the AFC East for the worst cut, even though we actually think it's a good decision for Mac Jones, the worst cut is actually Cam Newman. He's a player that's too good at that position to actually really deserve to be cut. Now the thing there is, we talked about it yesterday. If you want to go back and look at yesterday's video, we talked about Cam Newton getting cut by the Patriots and all sorts of different stuff. I really think it was actually a good discussion. Really had 12 minutes of solid conversation there. But yeah, in terms of his ability as a player, especially at the position he plays, he's too good to not be even on a roster right now. So yes, that was the worst cut in the AFC East. NFC North.
NFC North. From the Packers, tight end Bronson Kaufusi. Now you may be wondering, Jake, who the hell is this guy? This guy is the next Jake Kumaro for Aaron Rodgers. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back in the Packers Rodgers drama, because this is the one guy that Aaron Rodgers gave praise to. Well, besides Randall Cobb, Devontae, the guys he would. He's like, yeah, Bronson's been having some great catches out there in practice. He's looked good. And then the Packers cut him. And also, one of the reporters is like, so we'll be expecting him to have a good season in Buffalo next year. So,
Aw.
Bronson Kafusi for the Packers in the NFC North.
Okay. I like it. I like it. That's a good pick. My next pick, a player that I developed into a superstar in one of our Madden franchises before he became a superstar. Although he didn't become a superstar in real life, he became a superstar on TikTok and as the backup quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. Trace McSorley is now unemployed. Apparently, Tyler Huntley has done enough that the Ravens believe that he is competent enough to be the number 2 QB behind Lamar Jackson. Based off what I've seen, I actually tend to agree with him. It's just crazy to think that Trace McSorley, really, really fun quarterback prospect, and obviously, TikTok made him even more of a fun quarterback prospect to look at and just, have fun with. He's a big name kind of now, even though he's a guy who's a backup QB in the league and doesn't really have much to his name in terms of recognition that should make him well known. He is well known, and he is not on a team now, so thought I should point him out for the AFC North. NFC South for you.
NFC South, the obvious here, and this may be a little cheating because this was the day after cutdown day, but David Moore from the Panthers. Ridiculous. How would you cut David Moore? He was a guy that we overlooked when we talked about the Panthers. No, he overlooked him when we went over each team. We overlooked him, went back, watched Seattle's tape, and then we're like, wow, David Moore's going to be great for the Seahawks. Go back and look at the transactions. Oh, they let him walk.
He's a Panther.
Yeah. It, like I felt like we did disservice to Carolina by not talking about this guy more. He, this guy more, but um, really a solid slot number 3 receiver, and now he's on the market again. And some teams are gonna get themselves a great guy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I'm really interested to see what team that is because I'm not really thinking too much about. I haven't been thinking about free agent receivers too much recently. I know there's a decent amount of names out there, but in terms of like guys that could still like do a decent amount with like also while not having off the field issues and not being like a retirement age home in terms of NFL players, he's like one of the only guys that comes to mind. So I feel like he should get scooped up by somebody. He's got to.
Mm-hmm.
AFC South for me, just because got to bag on the Texans a little bit more, just because what's better than just making fun of the Texans. The Texans decided this offseason that they would strengthen their tight end core, which was just the most mediocre group of tight ends ever, and they were all completely interchangeable. So what did they do? They decided to go out, draft a tight end, and trade for a tight end as well. The tight end they traded for was Ryan Izzo from the New England Patriots, who didn't really seemingly have much of any reason to be traded to the Texans from the Patriots. I don't know what the Texans saw in him that they wanted, and then just they end up cutting him. So they basically just handed the Patriots a draft pick this offseason for absolutely no reason. And the Patriots signed 2 tight ends this offseason before trading Izzo, and Izzo hadn't looked good for them, and it was just a complete mess. So I just had to point out that cut, even though we're talking about the worst cuts of Cutdown Day. I mean, it really was one of the worst cuts of Cutdown Day because it just makes the Texans look as bad as they truly are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last division for the conference.
Yeah. So I talked about 3 offensive players here. Got to go defense here in the NFC West, and it's for the LA Rams, and it's Paris Ford. Cut by the Rams, and those pit boy safeties were deadly. We had them ranked so high in our safety rankings, both of us. And one of them, Damar Hamlin, he's going to get a shot to probably take over a starting safety spot in Buffalo in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And Paris Ford, who you thought was, and I mean, I too think his talent is through the roof. He is more talented than Damar Hamlin, but he has those off-the-field issues. I don't know if something with that is the reason why he isn't making this team. Hopefully they bring him back on the practice squad or some other team picks him up because he is far too good to be on the open market.
Come on, Buffalo. I know DeMar's only a rookie, but dude, those two look so good together at Pitt. And I'd love for them to both just be sitting behind Poyer and Hyde, have those two both go out in 3 years together and just have Hamlin and Paris Ford take over at the same time. It would be absolutely amazing. I doubt it's going to happen, though, because they're not going to bring the guy in that has off-the-field issues.
Yeah.
To conclude, I have the AFC West. As you said before, you had 3 offensive players and went with a defensive player. I also have 3 offensive players, and I'm obviously going to go to a special teams player. So, you look down the list of everybody who got cut in the AFC West, and there were those quarterbacks from the Kansas City Chiefs, Shane Buechele, Anthony Gordon, 2 great quarterback prospects.
I know
that they should not have cut at all. But one man over anyone else in the league that should not have been cut. The money badger, Michael Badgley, does not deserve to lose his job. He may not have been putting the ball through the uprights as much as they wanted him to. But he is hard. And Michael Badgley holds a special place in our hearts just because we remember the first time we saw him step on the field for that playoff game, Chargers-Ravens. What was it, 3 years ago now? And he couldn't miss. He wouldn't miss.
He wouldn't miss. It was like the best game to watch too, because you just called me up and we're just talking, watching this game, and I was a little bit ahead of you, and I was like, oh, this guy, he's a free agent kicker that they just brought on. He won't miss. This is like a 58-yarder. He isn't missing this. And now he's gone. But I mean, if Young Hoku showed the world anything, it's once kickers leave the Chargers, they just excel. So hopefully the Money Badger goes somewhere and he can live up to his title.
Yeah. Just go to Kansas City and give Harrison Butker a run for his money, just so that we can have the Honey Badger and Money Badger become best friends.
Fake field goal. Badgley throws it to Tyrann Mathieu in the end zone. Touchdown. Chiefs win.
The Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
They faked,
in overtime. Down 3, fourth and goal.
I was gonna say, like, they score with no time left. They fake the extra point, go for 2 to win it.
Yeah, they think they're just gonna try to kick the PAT to tie it up and take it to OT, and it's a fake. Be amazing. Oh boy.
It can happen, Andy Reid.
Patrick Mahomes. They got Patrick Mahomes, and they say, "Nah, let's fake the field goal and go with the Money Badger." Good Lord. Okay, I think people gotta think we're psycho by now. Are you all set?
Yeah, I think we can cut this here.